We love getting your questions, so we want you to keep them coming via Facebook, Twitter, and on our webpage. Who knows, we might just answer your question here in the studio audience next. Today on an all-new Daily Helpline, please help me welcome Paralympic snowboarding medalist and Dancing with the Stars runner-up, Amy Purdy.
I don't agree with ever throwing in the towel.
When you're stressed about income, it kills creativity.
Yeah. You come out here and you're like, I'm gonna live this dream, I'm gonna be discovered, and I'm gonna be famous.
The truth is, you are enough. You are absolutely enough. Top to bottom, everything you have is beautiful.
I hated the exercise, but it was so good for me. So I thank you so much for that.
I'm glad you asked this question because I thought I was the only one that did that. So show of hands, who's done that before? Oh my gosh, we all do that.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Helpline. I'm Miles Adcox.
And I'm Spirit. We're really looking forward to answering the questions from today's guest, and we hope that you'll hear something that helps you out as well. We have a very special co-host joining us today with a remarkable, I mean remarkable story
Inspiring.
to share. Oh, truly. I cannot wait to do this. Please help me welcome Paralympic snowboarding medalist and Dancing with the Stars runner-up, Amy Purdy.
Thank you.
Hello,
Hi, how are you?
Thank you. Thankful to have
Thank
you.
you.
How are you?
Thanks so much.
Have a seat
Welcome.
for us.
Great.
Now, you know, of course, I saw you on Dancing with the Stars and was totally amazed and flabbergasted. My joke is always, you were able to do something that somebody with 5 legs could not do. I mean, it was incredible to me. But I want people that don't know, I mean, I want you to tell your story because you are just so inspiring.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm a snowboarder, and I started snowboarding when I was 15.
Yeah.
And that was my passion. That's what I wanted to do the rest of my life. And then at the age of 19, my life took a little bit of a detour when I went home with what I thought was the flu. I went home from work early, thinking that I was coming down with the flu a little bit. And within 24 hours, I was in the hospital on life support. I was given less than a 2% chance of living. It took 5 days to figure out that I had contracted something called bacterial meningitis, which we have no idea how I got it. It's a pretty common bacteria, but it's not that common to get sick from. But when you do get sick from it, it's really fatal. And so I ended up losing both of my legs below the knees to septic shock. And I lost my spleen, I lost my kidney function, I ended up having a kidney transplant, and my life pretty much changed forever. We're on a completely different, detour. But had I have not gone through everything that I went through, I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
And you did not let that stop you. I mean, let's talk about it, because most people would say, okay, my life has totally taken a different detour.
Path, yeah.
Yeah, but for you, you said, no, I want to snowboard. I mean, you're an Olympic medal winner. This lady won a bronze in Sochi. What was that like?
I snowboarded before. That was my passion. And I had never missed a season of snowboarding. And even when I was in the hospital and I lost my legs, I thought, well, I'm not missing a season now. And 7 months later, I was back up on a snowboard. But I'm so grateful I had that passion, because that's what moved me forward. Yeah. I never really looked back and thought, why me? I thought, well, this is what I have to deal with, and I still am the same person. I still want to do the same things, and now I just have to get a little bit more creative and figure out how to do that.
And the other thing that's really inspiring about you is not so much what you do, but it's who you are. After what happened to you is you've turned it into some good, and it's inspiring to see what you're doing with your gift.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm very grateful.
Well, we absolutely are so thankful to have you here today, and I know that you are going to help some folks with that positive attitude, right? So let's do this. I want you guys to meet our first guest, and she has an incredible amount in common with you, Amy. I mean, an incredible amount. Listen to this. She had a fender bender 10 years ago, okay? She gets out of the car to survey the damage on the car, and then she gets hit by another driver who's driving 72 miles an hour. Oh, gosh, yeah. And then she loses her leg as a result of the accident, but she's still here, and she's lived to tell about it. Everybody, I want you to meet Tara. Amy, nice to meet you.
Hi. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Thank you so much for joining us, Tara.
Thank you. Good.
Have a seat for us. Have a seat for us.
Yeah.
So tell us why you're here today.
So I never imagined being an amputee, and obviously, and then also I just never imagined that dating as an amputee would be my biggest challenge.
Tell us a little bit about the challenge.
It's always a little bit difficult to know when to approach it, when to tell someone if they don't already know, or, you know, it becomes a heavy story in the beginning stages of dating, which isn't necessarily how I want to approach it. So it's tricky. I get nervous, I get anxious, and I don't think I act like myself when I'm dating in the beginning stages, because I feel like I'm almost hiding something. And I also don't want it to define me, so I don't want to say, hi, I'm Tara, nice to meet you, I'm an amputee, I wear a prosthetic leg. You know, it's part of my story, but it's not, it doesn't define me, so I struggle with when to approach it and how to approach it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since I've been in the whole dating side of things, and which I wouldn't think you would have a problem whatsoever, because you're absolutely stunning.
Oh, thank you, you're very sweet.
And I know that for myself, for a while there, I was also a little bit uncomfortable because I wasn't sure when the best time was to say that I had a prosthetic leg, especially if you can't tell.
Right.
But then for me, what's most comfortable is just being who I am right off the bat.
Okay.
And the quicker that somebody knows who I am and what I do, and so much of my life has to do with the fact that I've got prosthetic legs.
Right.
I'm a Paralympic snowboarder, and I run a nonprofit organization to help other people with prosthetics, and so for me it becomes a part of the story right off the bat.
Right.
And so I just know that I don't like that feeling either of thinking that, okay, so this person doesn't know I have a prosthetic, and then, you know, it's almost like if you don't make a big deal out of it, then it won't be a big deal.
Right.
And by hiding it, in a way, you're making a big deal out of it. I mean, at least that's my
very
my
interesting.
feeling.
Tell
I
us what
agree.
you normally do.
Well, it all depends, and there's been different scenarios. I do have to say, any relationship that I've been in as a boyfriend or long term, I met them through athletics. So they either saw me running, or they saw me cycling, or we met at some sort of an event where I had my running leg on, or shorts, or whatever. So they did know from the beginning. And where I'm challenged now as being single and newly into the dating world again after a relationship, I'm back to the, you know, friends want to set me up, or I meet guys out, and I don't always wear my running leg, and I don't always wear something visible, you know? So that's a struggle. I think I fear sometimes when I tell my story or I tell people, they get sad or they feel bad for me, and I don't like that. It's because I'm not sad, and it's not a pity, and I don't like that reaction. So I think I try and avoid it at all costs. Like, I constantly don't be sad, it's okay. Like, I'm consoling people when I'm telling my story.
Oh, wow.
So I guess I just don't like to make people sad, you
Right.
know?
And every once in a while I get that as well. You know, there are going to be people who, no matter how positive you are, they are going to say, oh, I'm just so sorry. But for me, I mean, I just, you know, I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I didn't lose my legs. And that it's such a huge part of my story. And right off the bat, I always try to be positive. And, oh yeah, I lost both my legs to meningitis, but I snowboard and I do this and I do that. And it's just such a natural way to go into it, where then people go, oh my gosh, wow, that's amazing. That's just another thing about this person.
Right.
And I don't want to be one of those people that's trying to drag this into a negative place, because I don't want to watch you do what you're used to. But I don't want it to get lost that there might be a lot of people watching that have dealt with a similar story, and they might be in a lot of struggle, or might be dealing with their own sadness or their own pain, and I want to be able to connect to and empathize with that. And so was there a time when sadness was real for you?
Definitely, yeah. There was a time where everything was so unknown because I hadn't discovered sports yet, and I hadn't become comfortable in my own skin yet.
Those times are definitely challenging, but I think it's also good for me. I remind myself how temporary they are. You know, how lucky I am that I get to snowboard the majority of the year and I'm fine, and it's just every once in a while that these moments happen, that you have to take a step back and take care of yourself a little bit more. But
we want to hear more about this. I think it's a really fascinating story. So stay tuned. We'll have more with Tara when we come back.
Coming up.
The pain, it can really bring me down.
Like a 1 to 10, 10 being the worst you could imagine. Where is it?
Close to that.
We love getting your questions, so we want you to keep them coming via Facebook, Twitter, and on our webpage. Who knows, we might just answer your question here in the studio audience next.